for joining me today. It's Lori at Stampinology, and I have another video for you. Today we have a very cool card, if I say so myself. Quite impressive. This particular card is going to a lovely lady who happens to be in the hospital, and I hope that she enjoys it. It's going to be, it's one of my husband's teammates, and so he's already been getting it signed. So I made him give it back long enough so I could film this video. So obviously I'm not going to be making this exact one again, but I hope you enjoy it. So here we go. This is called a Shutterfold card. We go, we'll start like that. And how cool is that? Yeah? You guys like that? I do. I like playing with it. This has been a bit of a journey. I first saw this card from, is it Del Bellows Designs? And I followed a link from something else, and then I looked at something else of hers, and then I saw this in the, the little YouTube sign thing. So down the rabbit hole I went. You guys know how that is if you do YouTube at all. And I watched her make this card, and I really thought, how cool is that? I mean, so I actually watched 2 videos of hers. I'm going to be doing the next one next week. But the card that she made was quite large. And there was another one that was from Dawn's Stamping Thoughts, which is pretty awesome. I think, and who did the other one? Luna Sun, I think. But hers was really big too. So each one pretty much had the same results, but they didn't all get there the same way. So this is a compilation. I changed it up so that that I'm working in metric, because you guys know metric card stock is a little bit narrower. So I did, a lot of the things wouldn't translate 1-to-1. And because I changed some stuff up, I wound up having to refigure it. Yeah, I can usually do one of these cards in a week, and make it mess up with a couple of days. And this one took me quite a long time. But that's okay. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. And I hope what I present to you gives you the courage to give it a go on your own, because it's really cute. It's actually very easy. It just has a lot of steps. So anyway, I'll stop talking now, and let's get going. I'll turn the camera down. Okay, I think that's set up pretty good. Let's get going. This seems very complicated. And it's not, but it does require several steps. So I have set this up so that, oh, look at that sliding off its little sticky there. I didn't notice that. Gone there. They're not supposed to slide off their stickies. Anyway, I've set this up into several steps. So if you do want everything written down, you can always go to my website and Stampinology.co.uk and get all the written instructions. They're all going to be there for you. So to get going, like I said, divided this up into 3 main steps. First thing we're going to do is we're going to cut all of our pieces, right? So the first thing to cut is our card base. This is your basic half sheet of cardstock. If you are working in metric with me, it's 21 centimeters by 14.85 or 8.5 by 5.5. Now we're going to score, there's 2 ways you can do this. This is going to be a gatefold. So what I did was I scored on one side only, and this is a tip that I picked up from, what was her name? Dawn, at Dawn Stamping Thoughts. So if you guys ever, if you know about her, you can look up Dawn Stamping Thoughts. She has some wonderful stuff and some stuff that I have used. She makes very clear instructions. And hers is one of the videos that I combined to make this particular one. But I thought this was a good trick to use for gatefolds. So you make one, usually you make one on one side and one on the other, so that when you go to fold your card, it's you just fold it in. But I don't know about you, but sometimes I don't exactly get it folded quite right, and it overlaps and it looks kind of messy. So if you will make a score line at, let's see, this is 5.25 centimeters or 2 1/8 if you're using imperial. So give that a good fold, and then we're just going to turn this side in and fold without the, let's see if I can do it centered up on the camera. We're going to fold it without a score line so that we know that we're lined up precisely. So you just butt it up to it. Think you can see that, and make sure it is even. You want to go down just a tiny bit and hold tight and gently press it into place. And you want to make that gentle because you don't want to shift. Whenever you need to, you want to be able to push that toward the center seam like that. And then when you have it down, take a bone folder, still holding tight, and do it like this. And now we have the most perfectest gatefold ever in the known universe of gatefolds. Now, if you're not fussed that there's some area in between them, because honestly, this is being a bit picky, you can just make a score line on each side coming in at 5.25 or 2 1/8. So it would be 5.25 here, flip it over, do it again, 5.25, and you're good to go. All right, so that is our first piece that we're going to do. Now, while we've got this here, we need to mark the center. And I kind of go into explanation about, this should be the center of your cardstock, and it should be, if you were working in metric, it should be 10.5 centimeters. It should be 4 1/4 if you're working in imperial. But you need to make sure measure, because sometimes these don't fold exactly the same. So to find your center, the actual easiest way to do it, I don't know why I went into all of that on the blog, is just make a little mark right here like this. And you will probably wind up having to erase it, so don't make it very hard, but you're going to need that center point later on. So mark her up now, chaps. Okay, now we're going to set this piece aside. This is piece number 1. The next piece we're going to make is, let's see, that's our card base. We're going to need our center section. Now, in the original, I used white. In this one, I have used that new lovely basic beige. And this piece is going to be cut at, let me give you some numbers here. It is 7.6 centimeters across, which is 3 inches, and 17.45 down. And that's going to be 6.5 inches. I know these numbers for the metric is a little bit weird because, I had to shift them because we're using metric cardstock. So anyway, then you're going to make on each side of that. Oh, I'm going to need to change my blade. I got some fuzzies here. On each end, you're going to come in 1.3 centimeters or 1/2 inch and make some score lines. And then we're going to pop those like that. Easy peasy. You can go ahead and do them down tight now if you want. But you will need them folded. And then the next piece is going to be what I call the cover piece for this. We're going to use our DSP. And this will fit in here like this, all prettied up. But in this case, you will need to cut this piece at 7.1 centimeters by 14.3 going down. And if you're working with me in imperial, it's 2 7/8 by 5 3/8. All right, easy peasy. So that piece is done. The next piece we're going to cut is what I call the shutter pieces. All right, and these are exactly the same. Now these are just have a care. These are really close in size. They are not exactly squares. I thought to make them squares because I thought, oh, well, why complicate things? It didn't work. believe me, this works better. I did, and I'll show you my mock-up that I did. And this is pretty, you can see there's lines drawn all over everything. I got that piece wrong, so I had to glue it back together. But anyway, this is what I do for you guys, because I love you. We want to make this easy peasy. Anyway, regardless, let me give you some numbers. So you're going to make 2 of these. Now, I used my cardstock color. You can use a different color. I have seen this done with black. In my original, I used the cardstock color as well. But you can see if you wanted to do a different, oh no, I used the same on that one as well. All right, anyway. I have seen this done using your shutters, making your shutters black. And that looks really nice as well, or a contrasting color. Anyway, regardless, let's get back to some numbers. For the shutter pieces, your longest side is going to be 9.5 centimeters by 8.9 centimeters. So that's like 6 millimeters difference here. If you're doing this in Imperial, you have 4 inches by 3.5. Okay, dokie. These are, the numbers are different. They don't translate directly because the cardstock that we're using, Imperial cardstock, is not as wide as your, Imperial cardstock is wider than metric cardstock. All right, got that out of the way. So that's why these numbers are really different. They don't translate 1 to 1. So when you get this done, you put this in. You want your, I'm going to use this way to demonstrate. You want your long side in to go in here. So your longest side, be it 4 inches or what I say, 9.5, I believe, yeah, 9.5. You want that side up. Then you're going to move it in here, and then this is going to be a 1/2 inch or 1.3 centimeters here. And then you're just going to, why can't I say the word? We're going to score. Thank you. We're going to score right along that line. And you're going to do that on each side. You just need to make sure that you're doing this on the longer side. So you have these like this. And give them a good squish down. All right. Our next pieces that we're going to need are the decorative pieces for the outside. And I have cut, oops, I have cut 2 side panels out of a contrasting, look at that, really need to change that thing. 2 pieces out of contrasting cardstock, and I'm going to put these on top like that. We're going to layer them up. So the bottom layer for this and the contrasting cardstock is 5 centimeters by 14.3 centimeters, or 2 inches by 5 3/8. So I'll repeat that. It's 5 centimeters across, and that we're talking, this is your base layer, 5 centimeters across by 14.3 long, and Imperial measurement is 2 inches by 5 3/8. Our designer series paper we're going to layer on top is a little bit smaller. So we've got 4.5 centimeters running across the top and 13.9 down. And if you are using Imperial, it is 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. Now you can put anything on the front that you would like. This front piece, which I have the measurements for, I'm not doing this today. This is actually going to a very lovely lady who's in the hospital right now, and it is coming from her work colleagues. So we're going to be putting that into her later today. But, oh, I've gotten glue on it already. Boy, it doesn't take me but a minute to mess things up, probably on this desk. But this is, I mean, like I said, this is for a specific person. This other one is going to be for someone else who is going through a rough time, but yeah, they'll come through it. So I have made this piece. If you like the measurements, just leave me a comment. I'll be happy to post them. But I have used the Darling Details set on this, which cuts out things with the dots, which I think is really pretty. So if you wanted to do that. This is just the cardstock, which I've used here is Early Espresso. And then this paper is Country Woods. And then that's, again, the Basic Beige. And I stamped in pecan pie. You know, I tried stamping this in the Early Espresso, but it just didn't look as good. So I went back with the pecan pie, and I've raised the centerpiece up. This is flat, but I've raised the center up. So, and put a little bit of thread behind it, so it's got some motion. Anyway, that's what I did for the front, which is a little bit different than the other ones. So, like I said, if you need exact sizes, otherwise, if you take a look at the rectangles in the set, the Darling Detail set, you'll come right out. But anyway, let me set that aside for now. All right, now all of our pieces are cut. We need that. The next thing that I'm going to have you do is we're going to start preparing for assembly. So this is done. We don't need to do any more to that, but we do need to do for this. Now, in my original, I sectioned this off so I could find the halfway point, and it is going to help us. So I'll show you how, I'll give you the numbers to find the halfway point, but I'm going to do it slightly differently this time. I always use my paper trimmer. You guys have seen me do this before, so if you have this kind of track trimmer, it just makes life easier. If not, grab that ruler, because it's easy peasy to do. But I did tell you the width on this piece, so let's go back to... Great, somebody's pressure washing out there. I hope you can't hear that. Hello, I can't find it now. All right, it's 7.1 by 14.3. So I'm working in this. I wrote down the halfway, so I'm just trying to find it. Sorry, it's taking me a minute. These are really fairly detailed instructions, but I'm trying to make this so it comes out a bit easier. All right. So we are basically going to bisect this. Oh, come on. Did I? No. I can't believe I did this. I'm gonna have to go back and change my instructions, guys. So if you're seeing this and it's any day other than Friday, then I'll have these directions corrected, because I can't have you doing the wrong thing here. All right, well, this is 7.1 centimeters across. So we need to find the halfway point, which is gonna be what? Half of 7 is 6.5. So we're going to set this up at 7.5, 6.5. Listen to me, 3.5. 3.5. It's 7.1, but I don't think this is going to make that much difference. You can slide it over the halfway mark. What you're going to do is mark. You can see we made our lines, our score lines. So you want to mark a little piece that's just going to go over the score line, and it will peek out from the other bits. And if you are working in Imperial, what would it be? Oh, I'm going to have to do this in my head, aren't I? It's 2 7/8. So it's roughly going to be 1.5 inches. And rough is not bad, but get as close as you can. Sit down and do some extra math, and I'll have this fixed so it's actually noted. Now, the length of this piece of paper is, I can't believe I didn't write this down. I think I wrote it down and I might have deleted it. Oh well, dingleberry. intersection. There it is. Yeah. Okay. So it's 3.8 centimeters here. So go over just a little bit. I do have it written down, just not where I saw it. Yeah, this is going to change it slightly. So 3.8 centimeters. And you lovely imperial people are looking at 1.5 inches. So I'm going to quickly change my marks here. Now make sure you do this very light, very, very light, because you're going to need to be done with them. You need to erase them. And now when we go sideways, we have halfway is 8.7. Okay. And you just want a little mark on each end. I mean, you can mark through the middle, but it doesn't matter. But this little mark on each end is going to help line us up later. All right, now that we have our marks on here, the next thing we're going to do, there's 2 ways to do this. I'm going to try something that occurred to me after I wrote the directions, and I'll go back and change them if this works. If it doesn't, you guys get to see me screw up big time. So what I did in the original was I centered up my circle to cut like that, and I cut it, and then I taped using, you can use a post-it note or the post-it tape, and I taped this to the back like that, lined up in the way that it should be. And after I cut the circle, taped it to the back, drew it out, cut the circle again. Well, it occurred to me, why am I doing that? Why don't I just glue this down and cut it all at once? The die is certainly, you know, can certainly do that without any problem. So, yeah, I'm not sure why I did it the other way. But let's glue this down. Okay. And of course leave a border all the way around. Down just a shade. I think that's got it. Alright, spread all the glue out on here. And now, using our marks here and there, we're going to give this a good old eyeball and see if we can't line this up. Now, I know I don't normally do this, but I wanted to show you how to mark everything up. We're getting out my big baby here. Ugh. Gonna do the die cutting. All right. Don't know how much of this you can actually see. Apologies. My desk is not as big as I would like. Actually, I would love one of those great big 6-foot tables. What am I talking about? I could fill one of those up in a heartbeat. Bet you guys could too. All right, you notice I'm running it through twice because there's 2 pieces of paper. Basically, I'm just being paranoid. Because why not? Oh, oops. One more time. There we go. Yeah, this works fine. I don't know why I did all of that with the other one. This makes life massively easier. Although I will have to say, we are going to use this circle. And if you are using white behind, I don't think you're going to want to glue. Oh, come on. Don't stick. We are going to go back and we're going to use this piece right here. Get all the circle-y bits out. Put this, I'll clean this out later. Make sure it's clean from here. Yes, there we go. Perfect. Okay, let's get rid of this. All right, it's a little soft still from the glue. That'll stiffen up as it dries. Of course, now we have little tiny holes everywhere. All right, so this piece, the next thing we do in preparation is we're going to put some tear and tape on it. You can use tear and tape. You can use your tape runner if you prefer. For camera purposes, I'm using the tear and tape. For my original, I used regular glue. And then for the one that I made to show, the pink one, that one is done with the Stampin' Seal. So there's get my gluey scissors out here. That cut. And then we'll do this. Like that. Easy enough. Now, you don't have to do this. I think it made it look a little neater. One of the things I saw did this, others didn't. There's various ways to stick these centerpieces down. This is just the way I chose because I liked the look of it in the end. Right now, this piece is done. It's ready for assembly, so we're going to set it aside. Now we need to do a bit more measuring. Let's get babies out of here. I'll put you back. Now, the next thing we need to do is get these prepared. Now, we're only going to work on one. This is actually the front side. So we're going to work on the back side of this. And now we're going to give you some more numbers. Yay, I know you can't wait. Let me get my piece out here again. I'm going to draw some more lines for you. Now we're going to take and put, let's work with the longer side first. There we go. You only need to do this on one because we'll use it as a template for the other one. Just makes life a little bit easier. So for this shorter side here, 8.9 or 3.5, we're going to mark it halfway, which is 4.5 centimeters or 1 3/4. So we're going to go to 4.5 and we're looking for a center point. So what it looks like about the center, just give it a little light line here. And I need to go a little darker so you guys can see what I'm doing. But this is the other reason to do it on the back so it won't show. There we go. Now we're going to put it on its longer side, which is the 9.5 centimeters or 4 inches. And if you're working with metric, it's going to be 4.7. If you are working with me on imperial, it is going to be 2 inches. So I don't know if you can see, that's actually short of the 2-inch mark because I'm working metric. Lay this down, and you can kind of see your little line on there. So just give it a little cross like that. One more time. Now, I would do this in my paper trimmer, continuing to mark, but because this is a dark piece of paper and I want you to see what I'm doing, I'm actually going to get out a ruler here. I know. Amazing, isn't it? We're going to take this center point, and you're on the opposite side of your fold here, and you're going to go from the center point to the edge like that, and same on the other side to the edge like that, and then we are going to cut. I find a long bladed pair of scissors works the best here, but you guys know how I feel about that. You do you. Yeah, sorry, you can tell these are my glue scissors. There we go. Yep, try not to overcut because this point is in the You see it. It's a sort of a show-off point. Oh, good. I got that one just perfect. Now we have a thing that looks a bit like a flag. Toss away the points. Now let's draw this. Make sure you have this even Stevens on here, because you want this lined up as exactamundo as you can get it. And then draw out your piece like that. And like that. Okay. Give it a whack. Oh, I almost overcut that. Perfect. Ha ha, look at that. All right, now we are going to put some more tear and tape down here. Yeah, we were trying to remember who was the director on a movie. We saw an advertisement for an old movie. What was that called? Django Unchained or something like that. I actually haven't seen that one. But we're trying to remember who directed it. And I kept calling him I kept calling him Quentin Tape. I think it's actually Tarantino, but I've just considered if I call him Quentin Tape that so obviously it means I'm fond of him, right? Okay. Get that baby off of there. Let's do it again. Come on. So like I said, you don't have to use tear and tape. You can use glue. You can use Stampin' Seal. Or the tear and tape. I happen to really be a fan of tear and tape for filming because it allows me to put the glue on the pieces and then continue to talk. I don't have to worry about getting it dry or sticking my hands to it because I keep threatening to change my channel to the Klutzy Crafter because I certainly am the klutz. All right, that's prepared and ready to go. And that's, let's see, that's prepared for assembly. Now this piece we're going to stamp on. I know, you guys are, I'm going to stamp for you. This is just a little small sentiment. Now be sure you make this sentiment that's in here quite small. It's going to need to sit right in the center of your circle. I made one ahead of time, so I actually could set it in there to see. But as you can see with this one, it's right in the center. And you can't just go in and stick it down. Oh, we'll get to that anyway. But it has to be right in the center of the circle, and it's fairly small. You do not see the edges of the circle there. So just a heads up when you're doing your stamping. So I'm going to do Love You. Make sure I get enough ink on that. There we go. Ta-da! I'll swipe my stamp off. And that's clean. Set that aside. And we'll set that aside. That's ready for assembly. And what else do we have? Oh, our other pieces. Let's glue these guys down. I really love this Country Woods paper. This is the reverse side. So it looks like pink paint that's peeling off of weathered white wood. I think it's very cool. And then this is just dark because this is going to a gentleman. So I thought I would do darker colors here. I think I'm going to do another one using black and white. I think having the black card base with the white bit here would just look really, really good. So, yeah, I want that piece on the bottom. glue spoogies. There's that. Let me wipe my finger off. Yuck. I'll set this down. Sorry, I know it's not on the camera. I'm trying to line it up and that is the thing I like about glue though, is you have a little bit of shifting room, which is nice. All right, and that piece is done. Now, all of our pieces we are ready to assemble. And as my son would say, and I've showed you this piece already, which I've done. Now, we take our centerpiece, and we're going to go back to our markings. Remember when I told you to mark this in the center? And now we have a center mark here. So this is going to help you line it up. So put this piece, center mark to center mark. Now I'm going to have to pull it, in here and get my head in the way. So pardon me. You want this right up on that edge. Double check I got it even. Can go up slightly this way. There we go. All right. Now that piece is done. Easy peasy. Now we're going to unfold this out of the way while we do our other two pieces. Now these pieces are exactly the same, but it's going to take a minute to line them up. So what I do, fold this back down, and this line needs to be in line with your point. And this line, this edge, needs to line up on the fold like that. Now shift this around. And what I do, I don't get a ruler out. I just use my bone fold or anything that's relatively straight and hold it up there and see that I've got it. Well, I got that pretty good first right off. I'm going to slide it down just a tiny bit. Oop, too much. Yep, that ought to do it. And now make sure you are on this edge here. And then we're going to take our paper out. Hold this in place because you've got it lined up with your circle. Let me use this to get this off. And you guys realize I'm unfolded here. That's this unfolded and the edge lined up to the score line. And then we're going to close it. And now we're going to open it. And this is what happens. Did I get it straight? It's mostly straight. Yeah, it's going to have to stay. Do this and give that a really tight, snug fit in there. Then this one goes opposite. I don't know why it is. You may not find it the same way. This is the third. This is the fourth one I've made. And for some reason, this left side wants to be on the bottom. There's some give. I mean, there's plenty of room here. You can see it's not going to interfere or anything. But it just wants, I don't know, it just wants to be on the bottom. I can't explain it. So I let it be on the bottom. So I am lining this up. Even Stevens right here. And even on the bottom. The straighter you get that, it's not going to be a straight triangle here. It's going to be more of a diamond shape than a square. So I need to push this in a bit, make sure it's clear of the fold. Make sure it's up here and here, and that looks like it's got it. I don't know why it doesn't line up perfectly. Like I said, it's the fourth one. None of them have lined up. Now, got this down here. I'm going to fold it over like that. And pop it up. And fold her down. And this is our mechanism. And see, once everything's prepared, the assembly is easy. You see how that looks really straight here. But when you go to close them up, they're going to be slightly separated. But that's how a camera lens looks. That's how a shutter in a lens looks. Although it has quite a few more than this. Now, to get your basic where this goes, this should line up with this, right? It doesn't always. You may need to flick it around a little bit. Oh, that's interesting. There's a texture on this. Oh, probably from my cutting plate. Didn't want that. All right. So let that sit there a second, maybe with your finger on it. Do this and see if it lines up. Yeah, pretty good. I think I want it up just a hair. And yeah, looks straight. All right, and now this is the part I hate. You can use a piece of tear and tape. You can use your Stampin' Seal. You can use a little splodge of glue. In this case, I'm going to use a glue splodge. But basically, leave it where it is. Give it a slight bend. Pick it up. Because like I said, with your glue splodge, you can slide it around a bit. Put it back down. Double check before it gets too dry. Oops. No, stop it. Now I gotta cook it. See, this is why I prefer glue. Come on, twist for me, baby. There. Okay, that's it. So like I said, for some reason, the right wants to go down first, then put the left down. Now you're going to close the top over it, which means take your sticky off. Now, in my original bit, I marked the bottom, but I found I don't really need to, honestly. Just hold it down, push so everything is flat, and you make sure you're folded so you are flat. Okay, this wants a little more fold, and this happened on one of mine, not the other, so I'm gonna shift it in just a little bit. See, it measures it perfect, so before it was assembled it fit. God only knows. That's the problem doing stuff like this. Yep. Come on, fold straight for me. I hope you guys can see this. Okay, I'll probably give it about another 1, maybe 2 centimeters here. Possibly 1/16 of an inch. And down. That. Okay. Re-establish my fold, and that is it. Oh, got some little funny bits. And that's how we make the card, and then it'll unfold like this, and it's magic. Oh, do not forget to erase your little side bits. I did this using a smaller circle, but it's so severely limited. That mark doesn't want to come off. It very, very severely limited the greeting that I could put on the inside. Because as you know, this love you is pretty small. So you can use a smaller circle. Oh, you know what? I think I put the size of the circle on here. And that's probably going to be helpful for some of you guys. If you don't have, if you're using your own punches, it's the second to largest size if you're using the stylus shaped. It's the second to largest size if you're using these dainty details, and it is a 2.5 inch circle if you were using a punch. Okie dokie. Now I will pop the outside bits on. Although, you know, you can put these on at any time. You don't have to wait. I'm running out of glue. Ugh. I think I need to buy stock in Tombos. Anybody else feel that way? Oh, this is really good glue. Let's put this down here. Give it a good shape. And I find it easier to glue the pieces on like this. Oh, did I do them? Oh, I did upside down. Oh, well. I don't think it matters. Put my stamp on upside down on the back. Yeah, if you are going to mark the back, you need to do it before you put it together because your stamp won't sit right now. Right, there is that side. And get my paper strippies off. So you can see just a little bit here, but it doesn't show much, but I did have to refold it a bit. So, you know, be flexible there. I think that 1/2 inch or 1.3 centimeters is a little bit flexible. Okay, now I want this piece on the bottom, so let's do it like this. Like that. And let's put our front bit on. Oh, remember, only do one side. That would stink if you accidentally screwed up and put glue on both sides and glued your card closed. You would not be happy with yourself if you did that. And now I'm just sort of centering this up. And then I'm going to press that down and just hold it a little bit, just for a minute or two. Now this card, you could, if you didn't want to do this, you could use a belly band to hold it closed. One of the examples I came across used a belly band and it looked really, really good. You can use, oh, I came across one. They did it much bigger. It was like a 5x7 card. And they used the magnets, the little thin magnets, and they put a magnet on the back of here and one in between the bits on the front. So it held closed with a magnet. I had tried, I have it on the one here. I tried using the Velcro dots. So those work really well. It did sort of hump it up a little bit on one side. So if I were to use the Velcro dots again, I think I would put dimensionals on the other side and a pair of Velcro dots on this side, if that makes sense to you guys. So anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this shutter card. I haven't come up with a fancy, oh no, I just did it upside down. Oh, crikey. All right. Something's got to, look what I did. Oh, Lori. Well, I will fix it. I will fix it, and then it would be all good. You guys know that. Sometimes, you know, sometimes you're the windshield and sometimes you're the bug. I think today is a bug day. But I think, though, this will be easy enough. I can take it out from the back and then just flip it around. Or, no, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take another piece of this paper. I'm going to cut a section and I'll slide it in. I think that'll be easier than try to unglue something. Oh, so look, there we go. Problem solved. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're watching me on Facebook and it's Friday, and I hope you have a lovely weekend, and I hope you give me one of those lovely hearts. If you are watching the replay on YouTube, I would appreciate a like and subscribe if you want more of this. And I think that's it for me. Everybody have a wonderful, craft happy day, and I will see you next time. Thanks.